Writer's block is something that we all go through as creatives, but is definitely not something that is impossible to get yourself out of. So today I'd like to break it down into three categories: routine, mindset, and stimulation. Stay to the end for my favorite tactical tips. There's no substitute for just doing it. Regardless of whether you feel like it or not, just do it. You'd be surprised at how much of writer's block is just negative self-talk, making you think that the beginning of the process is more intimidating than it actually is. More on this later. Implementing a routine is simple on paper, but it does take a lot of discipline to keep it going. My first tip is to set a schedule. Your body is a lot smarter than you think it is. If you do something at the same time every day, or at least in the same order, your body is just going to know what's going to happen next. Just like having a regular sleep schedule or a regular exercise routine, by removing the decision of what to do and when to do it, your body will just know what's going to happen next, so you won't have to fight yourself every time you want to start doing something. Waiting for inspiration or motivation to strike you is dumb and just doesn't work. So set a schedule, stick to it, and watch at how easier it becomes to actually get stuff done. But how do you stick to your schedule at first? That's the hardest part. In my experience, the easiest way to set a routine or a new habit is to set the bar very low. This is something that you can easily find on the internet by people like Tim Ferriss with his 2 crappy pages per day writing rule. So setting easy daily goals is the easiest way to start building momentum. And momentum is key in maintaining any kind of routine. Once you start gaining momentum, then you can adjust your goal to make it a bit harder for yourself. But at first, you really need to make it easy so that you can consistently win every day. Also, by setting the bar very low, you might feel silly for just stopping there and will naturally want to continue more. At the same time, you'll probably feel silly for not doing that goal on the days that you're just lazy. If all you do is that easy goal, you still won and you can still feel like you're maintaining your momentum. If just implementing a routine doesn't help, then there are probably mindset issues at play. As I said earlier, you might be surprised at how much of writer's block is actually just negative self-talk becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you're going to need to change this internal dialogue if you really hope to get over your writer's block. So first up, redefine your expectations. If you're experiencing writer's block, don't sit down and expect to come out of it with a song. Just have fun creating something with no expectations of what it should be or what it should be for. Remember that you don't have to release everything you write, and that nobody has to hear this if you don't want them to. This should be a time for play and not for performing at the highest levels. Don't edit yourself. Use a DAW or some kind of recording device and just play into it without stopping for a really long time. It's fine to repeat something a bit if you want to follow through an idea, but generally you should just play freely without stopping and without judgment. Now, maybe an idea will start developing naturally, or you'll just run out of ideas or get tired of it, and then only then should you stop playing and listen back and pick and choose what the cool parts are. You'll never come up with good ideas if you're always judging them as soon as they come out of you. Clean your workspace. Now this one is simple. If your desk looks like an episode of Hoarders, chances are your brain looks like that too. So clean your desk and notice that your brain will probably feel cleaner too. Now at this point, if you've implemented a routine and adjusted your mindset and you're still having trouble, then you need to look for new forms of stimulation. First up, try something new. Here are a few things you can do to stimulate yourself in new ways. Work in a different environment. Work at a different time of day. Use new tools, like write using a different instrument than you normally do, or write straight into a DAW if you're always writing on an instrument, or vice versa. Learn something new about music, like music theory. No, it doesn't kill your creativity, but that's a subject for a different video. Learn about music technology, like learn a DAW or new plugins or effects or guitar pedals or whatever. Or you could do ear training, like interval recognition, chord recognition, rhythmic dictation, anything. Just get new music stuff in your brain. Next up, expand your mind. As we get older and develop and gain new knowledge, it's easy to get picky about what we like. And it's also easy to get into patterns of restrictive thinking around what is good and what is bad. And this can result in us dismissing a lot of music that we might actually like. So try to let go of your preconceptions. Revisit music from your childhood. There was a time when I thought I had outgrown everything that I had listened to in the past. But at some point, for some reason, I decided to go back and listen to stuff that I liked or that was on the radio a lot when I was a kid. So when I went back to it, I realized that not only did it give me this warm, fuzzy feeling, but it also put my mind in a completely different place. It made me realize that just like taste buds, We like the music we like, and there's really nothing to be ashamed of. We don't necessarily have control over it. And going back to this music made me think about music creation in a different way because it was just so different from the stuff that I had grown into listening as I got older and more educated about music. Now, my last tip for mindset is listen to music that you hate. Now, I have come to love finding an album that is well known and popular that truly repulses me and then listening to that exclusively for a week. Now, I'll try to figure out why people like it, as well as trying to find ways that I can like it too. Now, almost every time that I've done this, the album has become one of my all-time favorites and has opened the door to tons of new music for me to listen to and enjoy. Now, if you try this, hopefully it will help you cultivate more of an open mind and remove expectations about what music should and shouldn't be. And now it's time for some bonus tactical tips. Pretend to be someone else. When I was learning to compose back in high school, I would write these minute-long songs in which I would deliberately try to copy existing music. Now, not only is this great ear training and gets you to compose in a way that might be unnatural to you, but it also takes all the pressure off of you by turning it into a sort of paint by numbers situation, allowing you to develop composition muscles without having to worry about being creative or it being good because you have a template to follow and you're probably not going to release it anyway. Commit to write a song every day. Now, I am or was a jazz composer, and for a period of a few months, I would commit to writing a lead sheet every day. It helped me abandon the notion of ideas being either good or bad and forced me to find ways of using every idea that I came up with and turn it into something. If you don't think you can keep up this routine, book a show at the end of a month with a completely new band and commit to writing all new and all original music. That's what I did. Leave some for later. Now, the blank page can be intimidating, but if you start something and leave it for later, especially if you know how you want to finish it, then getting the ball rolling the next time you sit down to write will be that much easier. And the last tip is collaborate. Don't think that you have to be a totally self-sufficient island of a musician. I've recently experimented with collaborating in a sort of back and forth way, not working both of us together on it at the same time. And we were both really surprised at the results we got working this way, even though we had collaborated before, as well as finding it super fun and inspiring. There's nothing like accountability in a situation like this of collaborating back and forth to get you out of a rut. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on writer's block. Am I wrong? Did I miss anything obvious? What are some of the ways that you have dealt with writer's block that have been effective? Let me know down in the comments.